But it was not my fault, as I didn't do anything like they said I did. I also know that as long as you believe me, that's all that counts. Also, God knows the truth as well as you and I do. Mum, a very happy Christmas and a happy New Year. Hope to be back home with the family for next Christmas. Good luck and God bless. Your loving son, Jerry.
Sarah, please be brave and pray. Someday the whole truth will come out. That's the strange thing about the truth. It always comes out in the end.
Did you miss your race, Daddy?
Oh, it's no matter. I didn't get much sleep last night. What time is it anyway? You're very late, love.
There was a bomb scare outside the hospital. We couldn't get through. Then they started pelting stones at the army.
Bombs outside hospitals. That's worse they're getting. I hope your mother's all right. What time's she due in?
Oh, she's on the late shift.
Oh, thanks, love.
You must have known him, Sarah. He was at school with you and Giuseppe. He's about the same age as you. Oh, I can't remember him. How many kids did he leave? 7, Sarah. The youngest still in nappies. Well, that's why I'm glad our Jerry's over in London. He's well away from it. It's a great relief, Mary. When you get in, you'll get a founder in that weather.
I was wondering what kept you.
Ah, they'd stopped the buses and that trouble started. They're still at it, stoning the army down at Divis. Oh. Righty, I suppose the dinner's ruined.
No, Mommy, it's ready.
Have no sympathy. Oh.
Mommy, can I go out tonight?
Where are you going?
Green and Lodge.
What's on there?
Disco.
Now, you know how dangerous it is, Brady.
Oh, Mommy, she never goes out.
That's why she's still alive.
Mary was telling me about poor Sean Milligan. Left a pub in the city centre and ended up in the Blackstaff River.
Mommy, I'm not stupid.
Neither was Sean Milligan.
A fellow walks in and he says, I want to divorce my wife, to the solicitor. He says, why? He says, she's a one-armed bandit fanatic. She plays those Bell fruit machines all the blooming time. He says, and in the middle of the night, he says, I wake up and he says, my arm's nearly broken and I finish up with a mouthful of tanner.
We interrupt this program for a special news flash.
Daddy, there's a news flash.
The town of Guildford was thrown into utter chaos by 2 bomb explosions.
Where was that?
Guildford, Mommy.
Guildford? Where's Guildford?
Somewhere in England.
It's near London. I was stationed near there when I was in the Marines.
Near London? God, I hope our Jerry's all right.
It had been a busy night for the pub, and Private Paul Wallace of the 1st Battalion Black Watch, serving at Aldershot, who was in the pub at the time, told me that there was a terrific explosion. He was blown through the door of the pub.
Up here a bit, love. That's better. I always get a wee catch there. I'll never see the end of this thing. And tablets make me very sleepy. Is Bridie in yet?
She is. Now, love, you've had bad turns before. You've come out of them.
It's awful to feel useless. Gets me down being round the house all day. I met Paddy Devlin at the clinic yesterday. He's got it even worse than me. He can hardly walk at all.
Paddy Devlin?
You know Big Paddy from Seaford Street? The redhead guy who used to run the darts at the club?
Paddy.
He was in the shipyard with me, too. He's convinced it was the red lead stuff we were using.
Sarah, we'll never get finished tonight. That casualty ward, it's like a bus station. Anyone killed? Not so far. Mostly cuts and shock. It's a miracle. The bone was in North Street Arcade. Well, the usual, I suppose. Shoppers and weak kids. No, sir, I won't let my girls go down the town anymore.
Our Jerry's coming home from London.
Sure, he's only just gone.
Well, they let him off on the building site.
He misses his ma, you mean?
Doubt you tied them apron strings too tight. Look, it's a wife he needs now, not his ma. Do you think we should get that wallpaper done for Jerry coming home?
Sarah, you have that boy ruined. He should be staying in London. There's nothing around here for anyone his age except trouble.
Ugh, it'd be nice to have him back.
Sarah, he doesn't know what he wants. No sooner in London, but he's back here again. You know the last lot of trouble he got into.
It wasn't his fault. He said he was innocent.
Sarah, the provost took our Jerry out and gave him a bloody good heading for robbing. Now, bad enough as they are, and Christ knows I have no time for them. They have their ear to the ground. Our Jerry was up to something, all right.
He says he's with, Paul Hill from New Barnsley.
Hell, don't know him.
You mean to say you came home from London and didn't even bring your sisters a present?
Didn't I bring myself? It's not enough.
Jerry, you big bully.
Where did you get the gear?
What do you think?
You look stupid.
Watch it, baby Anne.
Did you see any of the big groups?
Lots.
Who? Typical. Bet you never left the pub.
Birds or something else.
Who was the bird gave you the necklace?
Drop dead.
How's Paul Hill?
Couldn't get his now beer on. Benny Hill? Oh, he's great. We had a ball.
I'm sure. I can imagine what you and him got up to.
He's staying on. Just girls' preggers.
Here. Thanks. Oh, it's so long since we've been down the town.
Aye, what's left of it?
Our Brady's talking about heading for London.
But you put that notion out of her head. That's no place for single girls.
But you could stay like Jerry. With Annie and Paddy.
Willie Maguire doesn't run a boarding house, you know. She has her own five to look after.
Oh, look, love, I have some knitting stuff to get. You stay here and have some more tea, and I won't be long, all right?
Suits me.
I'll send the girl over to you.
Sight.
Tell us about the birds in the big smoke then, Jerry. We betting them off?
Something else. Mad for it. Me and Benny did the rounds.
Benny? Benny who?
Benny Hill. You know, Paul Hill from New Barnsley.
Is that gone there too? Where'd you pick him up?
Memphis Belle in Kilburn.
Where's he now?
Who?
Benny. Paul Hill.
Southampton, I think. Spur's up a spout and she's down there. Sean, that was a foul.
Gerard Conlon living here?
Yes, that's my son, but he's up in his bed.
We've a warrant for his arrest.
No, 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 no! He's all right. We're taking him to Guildford.
Look, for Christ's sake, the whole street is looking at us. Go in.
They're taking Jerry to London tonight.
To Guildford.
Guildford. Guildford? I want to talk to him about some incident there.
The bombing. The Guildford pub bombing.
So, I don't know.
What's it got to do with our Jerry?
No idea.
There were 6 killed there, lass. 2 months ago. I'll have to go over there tonight.
What?
I'll have to go and organise that boy a solicitor.
You're in no shape to travel there.
Right, that's enough. I'm his father. I'm gonna handle this.
Well, it'll be on your head then. I'll put in your blue jersey as well. And 4 pairs of socks.
Will that be enough?
Oh, Giuseppe, please let me go and stay it.
Look, you have to work. You can't just take time off. I'll be all right. Anyway, I've nothing else to do.
I'm putting your tablets now in this toilet bag. Look, love, you're not up to this journey.
Look, Sarah, I'm going to London to see these solicitors about Jerry, and that's all there is to it. I know he's done nothing, but it's the least I can do.
Will you go straight now to Annie's when you arrive?
I'll hardly go to Sandown Park first, will I?
Do you think that'll be enough? Do you want your inhaler as well?
Christ, Sarah, I'm not immigrating, you know. I am coming back.
I don't care what you say, Mary Kelly. It's very, very unusual. Giuseppe would have phoned me by now. And how come there's no answer from either Paddy or Cooey's telephones in London? That's weird. Are they all dead or something?
Bridie's phoning now.
Well, what's keeping her? Do you want more tea, Mary?
No. No, thanks.
Anne, love, have a wee look out and see if our Brady's coming. What is it?
They've all been arrested. All of them.
All who?
Daddy, Auntie Annie and Paddy, all the McGuires. I raided Auntie Annie's house last night looking for explosives.
Am I taking leave of my senses? Annie McGuire making bombs? Giuseppe, Jerry? Is the world gone mad?
I've told you 20 times already. I arrived on the train at Euston. I took a taxi to McGuire's. Annie and Paddy were there. She gave me some dinner. Then Paddy and I went for a few pints in the Grey Horse. I came back, phoned the solicitors about my son. I took a wee nap. And then when the others came in, I went to the Royal Lancer for a few pints. That's where you arrested me.
Have you ever handled explosives?
No, I've nothing to do with that sort of thing.
Do you have any access to explosives?
No, of course not. I don't know what my son's done, but I have nothing to do with that sort of thing.
Why are you over here?
I told you, to organize a solicitor.
Was there something going on in that house that you didn't know about?
Don't be daft.
There's nothing daft about this.
What's that?
These are the results of the tests carried out on your hands. They prove that you were handling explosives.
Jesus Christ almighty, that's impossible.
What's your explanation?
There is no explanation. I've never had anything to do with explosives.
That was a regular little IRA bomb factory you had there, Paddy. 7 of you in that house have proved positive to the tests. You're all going to be charged with possession of explosives.
Sweet Jesus, that's impossible.
I'm not a policeman. I'm a solicitor. Do you understand? Have a cigarette. Now, Mr. Armstrong, I can only help if you trust me and answer some questions, okay? Now, how did the police get your name?
From Paul Hill.
Who's Paul Hill?
He's a mate from Belfast. We lived in the same squat in Kilburn.
And why should Hill give your name to the police?
I don't know. He gave everybody's name who was in the squat. They're all here now, I think.
How many were there in this squad?
Depends. People just skipped there. Maybe about 20.
And they're all friends of yours?
Some.
Who?
Carl Richardson. Gerard Conlon.
A squad full of bombers.
I know. It's daft.
I hope for your sake it is. Did you sign a statement?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
Mommy, it's from Daddy. It's a letter.
Dear Sarah, I hope this letter finds you all well. How's Bridie and little Annie? Sarah, you mustn't get too worried. This is all a terrible mistake. I can't work out what's going on. I'm writing to Jerry when I finish this letter to you. Please don't worry, love. I want you to get Jerry Fit, MP, to come here and see me. I've plenty to tell him. Try not to allow this to spoil Christmas. We're all right. It's all a terrible mistake. Jerry's in Wandsworth. Please write to him there. Don't worry about me. I'm all right. Now, don't be coming over to see me again. It's too expensive.
Well, kids, hope the two of yous are not giving my mother any trouble, but are giving her a helping hand instead. Bridie and Anne, I hope yous are praying for me and Dad. But don't worry, as we know we'll soon get out. As it's a frame-up and we're not guilty of what they say. I hope the police have plenty of money, as I'm going to take them for thousands of pounds in compensation. Tell any girls who call that your brother's still the best-looking fella in the Falls. Jerry the King.
The 4 defendants in the Guildford pub bombing case have just been convicted at the Old Bailey. The 3 Irishmen, Gerard Conlon, Paul Hill and Patrick Armstrong, and their English-born accomplice, Carol Richardson, were found to be guilty by the jury after a trial that lasted 6 weeks.
Turn that off.
The 3 men received
Sick of
life
their
sentences.
30 years. Giuseppe and I'll be on sticks when he comes out.
Sarah, love, he'll never do that. There'll be an appeal. They just can't do that to innocent people.
Jerry.
You must be Bridget Conlon. Is your mommy about?
No, she's out.
I'm very sorry about the news about Jerry. 30 years. Isn't that ridiculous? And him nothing to do with the movement at all. It just shows you British justice.
I know.
Anyway, I'm Fidelma Moore from the Green Cross.
Green Cross?
Yes. We're a Republican organisation. We help the relatives visit their loved ones in prison. We help with the boat fare, things like that, place to stay over there. So will you tell your mommy she can contact us at the Republican Centre? Of course, it's your daddy as well. When is he due up?
Daddy's for trial in January.
Shocking business. Anyway, I'll not keep you. You know where you can contact us. Keep your chin up.
Who's that?
The woman from the Green Cross.
Green Cross? Who sent her?
Bad news travels, Mummy.
That's all we need. The provost. As if we're not bad enough. Poor Jerry. And where's his father? If I have to go to the ends of the earth, I'll clear the names of my child and my husband.
The doctor saw me on Thursday. He just says I should rest. What else can I do in here anyway?
I'm not going to be able to get days off for your trial, but Brady's coming over.
Sarah, there's no point. I'll be home before you. This case against us is a joke. Me handling explosives? Annie McGuire and her 2 kids handling explosives? God forgive them. Had a letter from Jerry.
Aye, we're going to see him tomorrow.
He seems okay.
Hello, is that you, Mommy? Listen, I haven't much money. I'm phoning you from the Old Bailey. What? Oh, his lips rightly. He was waving and winking at me from the dock. Aye. Listen, I was talking to Daddy's barrister, and wait till you hear. He thinks they'll walk out. Yes. The only thing they have on them is these hand tests. And he told me that they discovered today that they were done wrong, Mommy. Aye.
Did you not go over for the trial then, Mrs. Conlon?
I couldn't get off, Sheila. Anyway, I'd rather be here to welcome him back.
I'm telling you, they must be hard up for bombers these days when they think you're Giuseppe's one. Will he not be able to sue them when he gets out?
We'll get him home first, Sheila.
Aye.
All 7 defendants in what's become known as the Aunt Annie bomb trial have been found guilty at the Old Bailey. Sentences ranging from 12 to 14 years have been passed on the defendants by...
Mommy. Daddy got 12 years.
What?
Daddy got 12 years.
Afterwards, the Chief Constable of Surrey said, "We have cut off a major pipeline to the terrorists. We're sorry we did not find the bombs."
Here comes the bloody bomber.
Ah, look at the Paddy General. Yeah, the bastards.
Dear Sarah, I am in Wormwood Scrubs. Sarah, love, what can I say? How could they do this to a family who've never harmed anyone in their lives? When I looked at the judge, he did Jerry's case too. I could see in his face that he was saying to me, "You are the father of the Guildford bomber." Sarah, please be brave. You must tell everyone of the terrible thing which has been done to us. See Jerry fit. Write to the Cardinal. Sarah, I love and miss you and Bridie and Annie terribly.
I'm looking for a room for 2 nights. Have you any space?
Are you visiting the prison?
I am.
Well, we want no bloody IRA bombers here, thank you.
Sit down, sit down.
I
can't see him properly.
It's not my fault, is it?
Giuseppe, love. How are you?
I'm not too bad, love. How's all in Belfast?
They're fine, Giuseppe. The sender, love. I've written to Cardinal Hume and Cardinal O'Fee. Oh, and I also wrote to the Prime Minister in Dublin. Did you write to anyone?
I'm only allowed 2 letters a week, so I write to you and Jerry. These people are giving me no medical attention. It's a waste of time reporting for sick duty. All they offer me is aspirin. They give me Benylin, but that only made my cough worse.
Will the prison doctor not help?
She took me off the Complan diet.
I must warn you, madam, it's not permissible to discuss prison business during a visit. If you continue, the visit will be terminated.
My husband's health is my business.
You've been warned.
Now you see the kind of thing I'm up against, Sarah.
Stop that! Stop that! Stop it!
Hello, is the chaplain in, please? I'd like to see him if possible. Come in, then.
Yes, I do see what you mean. But, you see, all you have to go on is that you think that they are innocent.
Father, I know in my heart that they're innocent.
Mrs. Conlon, most of the men in my ministry down in the prison claim they are innocent, unless they were caught red-handed. That's the way of life in there. Now, of course, they can't all be innocent now, can they?
Father, I know nothing about anybody else. But I know about my husband and my son.
But they had jury trials. Your husband had explosive on his hands. Your son signed a statement confessing to the Guildford bombings. Now, if they are innocent, how do you explain that? I mean, I know that your husband's health is poor, but do you realize the feeling in this country where IRA bombers is concerned?
They're not bombers.
Perhaps not. Perhaps they were just used by others. But British justice is famous throughout the world. It doesn't make mistakes. They had very expensive trials at the taxpayer's expense, Mrs. Conlon. And at least they're still here. 6 of those who went for a drink in Guildford are not. I'm sorry to be blunt, but I think I must be, especially for your sake and your family's. You see, claims of innocence only make a bad situation worse. It upsets the prisoners themselves, it upsets the prison authorities, and it upsets the families, just like yours. I will, of course, help your husband in every way. I will minister to him, I will visit him, but I really do believe, from experience, that it's best for all concerned if prisoners just settle down and do their sentences. I'm sure of that, Mrs. Conlon. Believe me. Now...
Father, I have known Giuseppe since we were wee children together, swinging on lampposts on the Grosvenor Road in Belfast. Jerry is my only son. I bore him. I'm a mother. I know in my heart that they're both innocent. God above and those poor people who died in Guildford know they're innocent. You see, everyone thinks like you. Everyone. And if I don't fight for them, if I don't save them, They'll just rot away in there. I'm just a cleaning woman from the Royal Victoria Hospital. I know nothing about how these things work. I don't even know where to begin. That's why I came to you, Father. You're a priest in the prison. I thought...
Mrs. Conlon,
Father,
you see...
It's really all about what the church is always asking us to have. Faith, belief. Well, now I'm asking the church to have faith in me and my belief in my family's innocence. They want 12 years of my husband's life, and I don't think there's 12 years in him.
Mrs. Conlon. Mrs. Conlon.
I'm afraid I've had very little experience of these matters. I'd never even been to Ireland before all this. But I recognize now that there's something terribly wrong here. I originally represented Patrick Armstrong at the trial. But now I'm sure all four didn't do it.
How did all this come about, Mr. Logan? I still don't understand.
Well, Mrs. Conlon, such is the mood in this country after the IRA atrocities that any Irish person in the dock is in very serious trouble. When you get killings of this magnitude, and the press and politicians whip up feelings, and the police are under that kind of pressure, it's very dangerous. I mean, both trials occurred during periods of intense IRA activity. But that apart, I'm determined to see this one through. Did you see Jerry Fitt in London?
Yes, he's been in to see Giuseppe. He's convinced of his innocence. And Cardinal Hume is going to see him.
Well, that's a start, isn't it?
Dad, it's me, Jerry. Did you not know me? I've been looking everywhere for you. They moved me here from Winchester last night.
A banger. Anne wasn't born then. No, look at the sight of me.
Is that your dad and Jerry there?
Aye. That's a long time ago.
I can see now why you kept it hid.
Don't be stupid. Have to hide it from Mummy, though. She gets very upset.
How's she keeping?
Living on her nerves. She's balled it all up on her. I can't get her to go out, to go downtown, to go anywhere. She spends most of her time up in that bedroom, writing letters.
Who to?
All sorts of people. Anybody important she sees on television, like bishops and MPs. She studies the papers to find out stories about people in prison who are innocent. She cuts them out and sends them to Daddy.
Here is a news flash. The 6-day siege at Bolcombe Street ended when the four men surrendered to police after first releasing their hostages, Mr. and Mrs. John Matthews. It was just after 4 o'clock this afternoon when the four men emerged from the Bolcombe Street flat, one by one, holding their hands on their heads. The Metropolitan Police are satisfied that they have finally captured most of the group who were responsible for the 14-month reign of terror.
Actually, the cons here aren't too bad. They clubbed together to buy me the complan from the prison shop. It's all I eat.
Any winners recently?
No winners at all.
I'll have to write quickly to Ma and tell her that I've been moved here. Could you do it? I've used up all my letters for this month.
So have I. But there's a warder here from Liverpool. He's a decent sort. He'll post a letter for us.
Anyway, I'll be able to look after you now. Ma'll be pleased that we're together.
What's the word on your appeal?
Logan's hopeful. What about yours?
I wouldn't like to see the odds. But don't tell your mother that.
There's a call, Mr. Logan. She refuses to give her name, says she wants to talk to you.
Put her through, Maggie. Alistair Logan speaking. Hello.
Mr. Logan, I don't want to leave my name, okay? Now, if you want to know more about the Guildford bombing, I suggest that you go and talk to the people who were arrested at Balcombe Street. Do you understand?
Yeah, but why?
I'm only passing on a message. It's from a friend of mine. He was asked to pass his message on to you. I'm just calling for him, okay? Do you understand that now?
Yes, but...
Bet there was never a Derby winner picked like this.
We could be accused of doping horses.
Right, Sarah. You take these. Close your eyes. And off you go. Sarah, it's called Shirley Heights. Risk a few bob?
Oh, well. Our luck's changing, Mary.
Right. Just start. Miss Jones will take contemporaneous notes, and Mr. Still here, who is a former police inspector, will interview you. This is just the preamble. Excuse me a second. Interview by me, Alistair Logan, Solicitor Guildford, and James Still, with Brendan Dowd, convicted IRA terrorist, Albany Prison, October 26, 1976. Go ahead, James.
You understand that 2 others in your group have already made statements to us. Are you willing to?
Yeah.
I understand you're prepared to make certain statements relating to the bombing of 2 pubs in Guildford in 1974. October, actually.
Yeah.
For the record, you are aware that I represent those already convicted for that offense, and that your statements may be used in court.
I know that. As far as any of the persons convicted for Guildford and Woolwich, they had no connection whatever with it.
How can we show that?
I don't know, really.
Would you be prepared to tell us how it took place?
Yeah. For a start, there were 4 of us. 4 or 5 people. We parked the car in the car park, not far away from that particular pub.
Who drove it?
I drove it.
Have you an appointment with the Board of Visitors?
Too damn right I have.
You are wearing your prison greys. Regulations state that all prisoners appearing before the board must be wearing their prison blues. You can't go in.
For Christ's sake, I've been waiting 8 months. I need them to order medical attention for me.
And what time was it arranged for?
It was arranged for 9 o'clock. I'm not sure. I think it was.
Do you remember the type of seat under which you placed the explosives? Do you remember what type it was, the color of the material?
Where it was semi-dark. You wouldn't get any details on that.
Having placed it under the seat, did you have another drink?
I had about 2 or 3 drinks. And then we just left.
Do you remember any of the furniture in the pub? Do you remember any specific equipment?
So long ago now. But I think there was a jukebox here. And that afternoon, there were two old guys with shopping bags sitting beside me. Must have been waiting on a bus. Had large bags of groceries with them.
Conlon, you were detailed for work in the paint spraying shop this morning. Why aren't you there?
I've told the assistant governor that I can't go into the paint shop. I can't breathe in there. I'm not going there.
Are you refusing to work?
I'm refusing to work in the paint shop.
If you're not in the sick bay, you're fit to work. Have your sick leave?
You know I'm sick, all right.
I'm putting you on report. Do you know what that means? It means you'll be brought before the governor, charged with refusing to work, and if found guilty, you'll be put in the punishment block. That's solitary confinement, Conlon, without bed or blankets. Will that improve your health?
It'll be better than the paint shop.
Prisoner 462817. I am formally putting you on report.
You have no authority over me. I'm an innocent man.
Okay, smile, everyone. Mrs. Conlon, you're looking a wee bit sad. Cheer up. The house is looking great.
Oh, here, hang on. Hang on. We can't leave them out. Please God, they'll soon see it for themselves.
Sarah, I have bad news.
I heard Jerry said in a letter this morning that Giuseppe's in the punishment cells.
Sarah, it's worse than that. Him and the other 6, they have all lost their appeals.
Oh, my God.
I write letters to all sorts of people. MPs, bishops, even important people I see on TV. But I get very few answers. You see, when I tell them my story, they think I'm some sort of crackpot. I mean, how can the police, the judges, the scientists all be wrong? And me right? Dear Jesus, the appeal's gone down now. And I don't know how poor Giuseppe will take it. You know, when I see him being led round by police and warders and dogs, Jesus, I don't know why they want him so badly. Dear Jesus, I don't know what to do now or where to turn to.
The Home Office have again refused to allow an outside chess specialist in to examine you. So I'm going to sue them for neglect. In that way, they have to allow one in so that we can prepare a case. It's just a device, but it will get you proper medical attention.
Now they're opening your letters to me.
Right. I'll see them about that.
What's the word on Jerry's appeal?
It's looking very good. We have statements from the Balcombe Street mob giving forensic and descriptive detail that will be very hard to throw out. I have no doubt they did it. You realize they've been convicted for almost every other bombing during that period.
There's no way they're going to reopen this can of worms.
I've seen a terrible change in him.
He looks terrible, certainly.
Not just that. It's like he's drifting away from me. I mean, he seems to have no interest anymore in things outside. It's like he's living in a dream world. Them our letters is no good. You can't say anything. I can only afford to visit him twice a year. I look forward to the visit. And then it's awful. We're like strangers. We find it so hard to find things to talk about.
But he is very ill, Sarah.
I just don't know what to do. I've run out of...
There's Jerry's appeal.
Where? Dear God, the amount. I write to Giuseppe. He writes to me. Jerry writes to me. Giuseppe writes to Jerry. I write to Jerry. The solicitors writes to all of us. Mr. Logan, our lives are only paper now. It's like we're all turning into a book. A book with no end.
It's looking good, Jerry. Those Balcombe Street boys have really set the cat among the pigeons. I mean, that scientist today said that whoever planted the Guildford and Woolwich bombs also made all the other bombs that have gone off since you've been in prison.
How's Ma?
She's all right.
Tell her I got those football boots you sent.
How's Dad?
He's down to 6 stone. You'd hardly know him. Don't tell Ma.
Yes, Mr. Logan. I'll take a message. I see. Thank you. Sarah, I'm sorry.
It's Jerry.
The appeal's gone down, love.
Poor love. Another new year. What can I write to you? I hate putting real things in these letters. I hate to think of the prison censors reading them. 5 years of these letters now. God, how I would just love to be able to sit down at the kitchen table to have a cup of tea and chat with you. I can't see any way out. We're both trapped. I know you're dependent on me, but what more can I do? Oh, Giuseppe, this nightmare will never end. If you don't get parole this year, I think you'll not be able to hold out.
Dear Sarah, thank you for your letters. I'm glad that all at home are feeling fine. But as for me, I've been very bad this past couple of months. My left leg from the knee down is completely numb. I still can't get my breath. Sarah, you should see all the Christmas cards that I got from France. I got 148, and they all know that I am innocent.
I have an important new forensic report. Jerry Fitt discovered this leading scientist in Scotland who looked into those swab tests on your hands. I gather Cardinal Hume is writing privately to the Home Secretary. Before I forget, I must warn you about this parole board. Do not protest your innocence. Parole boards in prisons are about establishing that prisoners are reformed, cured of their bad bits, Giuseppe. Do you understand? You must learn that as far as the system is concerned, there is no such thing as an innocent person in prison. When they see the condition of your health, you might stand a chance. It could be your last hope. Do you know that?
I have been telling the truth for 5 years now. I'll keep on doing it.
Jerry Fitt commissioned this report from Dr. Brian Caddy, a forensic scientist in Scotland. He's reread all the evidence, carried out some new tests, and he confirms that the test as done in your case could not have proved the presence of nitroglycerin. He's going to, along with John Biggs Davidson, present it to the Home Office. Do you understand?
I want to make a will.
Mrs. Conlon, we had a great meeting last night. Pity you couldn't make it. Big turnout.
It was too political.
But Sarah, it is political. Your family are being held as political hostages.
They're not political anything. They're innocent people.
Now you have to face it, Mammy, it's all political.
It was the IRA that got my family into this mess in the first place.
Sarah, it wasn't the IRA who arrested and beat up and jailed your family.
I suppose it wasn't the IRA that blew up those pubs full of people in the first place. It certainly wasn't my family.
Now, Conlon, I am a member of the Parole Review Committee. I am now going to interview you, and I will then report back to the Parole Board, who will consider your case. You've been in custody now for 2 months short of 5 years. Now, what we are mainly concerned to establish is whether it would be safe to allow you back into the community again. Do you understand?
I was no danger in the first place.
I don't know what you mean by that remark. You stand convicted of a serious terrorist offense. And I am here to decide whether you have learned your lesson.
I am here to establish my innocence. I shouldn't be here in the first place. It's all a frame-up.
This attitude is really quite unhelpful, and it won't help your cause, you know.
My cause is my innocence.
For strange it was to see him pass with a step so light and gay. And strange it was to see him look so wistfully at that day. And strange it was to think that he had such a debt to pay. And strange it was to think that he had such a debt to pay.
Dear Sarah, just a few lines in answer to your ever-welcome letter. I hope all at home are well. But as for me, I am badly down the hill. And to crown that, Sarah, I got another knockback in my parole. Sarah, I don't want you to write back to me and tell me not to do it. Well, Sarah, I'm going on hunger strike. And I don't care what happens to me.
For I've taken too much for something Gerard and I are not guilty of. Sarah, could you get in touch with anybody and try to get me back home so as I can see you and the family? For I miss you all very much. Please excuse my writing, as my hands and body are all shaking. Sarah, I love you and miss you.
West Belfast MP, Mr. Jerry Fitz, said today that he had sent a last-minute appeal to the Home Secretary, Mr. William Whitelaw, to release the convicted Belfast man, Giuseppe Conlon, who is known to be seriously ill in a London hospital. Mr. Fitz claims that he is convinced that Mr. Conlon's conviction 6 years ago for handling explosives was a miscarriage of justice. He said he was making this last-minute appeal to the Home Secretary as he believed that Mr. Conlon was very seriously ill. The Home Office said last night that the Home Secretary, Mr. Whitelaw, was considering Mr. Fitz's appeal.
Look, Conlon, I've got my orders. I've got to return you to prison at once. There's been some reports of some strange people seen around the hospital. Prison are worried about an attempt to rescue you. Now, you know the score as well as I do. You're a high-risk Cat A security prisoner. Come on, get in that wheelchair. I'm sorry.
You have no authority over me. I'm an innocent man.
Time up, Mrs. Conlon.
Come on now. Poor love. I think that finally you'll be coming home, away from this awful place. I don't think it'll be too long now. And if I don't see you before then, and I don't think I will, I want you to know that I love you, pet. And that if you are going to the other judge and jury, that they'll be on our side this time. moved him back to Hammersmith Hospital again. Bridie's gone over to be with him.
That's good news anyway.
It's all in God's hands now. You know, Mary, it was that parole thing that finally broke him. He couldn't face another 6 years. That broke his heart. He said to me one day on a visit, "You know, Sarah, with all the other prisoners in here, as each year goes by, they feel better. They had done wrong, and each year helps to wipe that away. But with me, who did no wrong, each year it gets worse and worse."
I know, love. I know.
Sometimes I lie awake at night and wonder where the jury are now. With their families, I suppose. Even sometimes when I'm sitting on a bus or in the tube in London, even on the streets, I look at people and I wonder, was he or she on the jury? It's daft, isn't it?
Jerry, son, I want you to promise me something. I'm going to die. And I want you to keep your hands in your pockets when that happens. And promise me, don't attack the warders. Right? Son, they're killing an innocent man here. When that gets out, when people know, you'll all walk free.
Anne, the phone.
Mum and Daddy's finally coming home to us. That was Bridget. About half an hour ago. It was very peaceful.
I'm sorry. It's not possible for you to see your father's body. I asked the governor and he's refused. I'm sorry.
Where's he now?
In fact, the undertakers have collected him to bring him back to Belfast. I'm sorry.
What time did he go?
Did you phone her?
British Airways refused to fly Daddy's coffin to Belfast. It's coming by road now from Dublin. What did Jerry Fitz say?
He came over to show me Giuseppe's release documents, signed by William Whitelaw. They were dated the 23rd, the day he died. Oh, Father, thanks very much for coming.
Can I get you anything?
2 teas, please. Is Mrs. Wilson not on the day?
Mrs. Wilson? She's retired now, gone about a year. Did you know her?
Oh, aye. She'd been here a long time. I mean, I've been coming about 14 years now, and she was here long before that.
You local then?
Yes, nearby. Oh, she was a grand wee woman, Mrs. Wilson. She used to pack me sandwiches for your granddad.
Will we get sandwiches for Uncle Jerry?
14 years. You know that when your Uncle Jerry gets out, he'll be the same age as your granddad was when he went in.
What age will you be then, Granny?
Just hope he'll be around, love. Oh, come on, cheer up. We don't want you going into your Uncle Jerry looking like something the cat brought home.
Sarah, tell Anne and Joe and wee Sarah I hope they are keeping in the best of health. And tell Anne and wee Sarah that I'm always thinking of them and that I love them very much. Well, Sarah, I will come to a close now. But before I do, I want you to know that I love and miss you very much. So look after yourself. What would I do without you? I will say goodbye and God bless you and all at home. Don't forget to write soon. From your loving husband, Giuseppe. Number 462817.
What's wrong?
Jerry's getting out. The solicitors just phoned. They're going to announce that the police fitted them up.
Poor Giuseppe. The truth will always come out, he used to say. One day, Sarah.
A prison hall was round us both, two outcast men we were. The world had thrust us from its heart, and God from out his care, and the iron gin that waits for sin had caught us in its snare, and the iron gin that waits for sin had caught us in its snare. I never saw a sad man who looked with such a upon that little tent of blue we prisoners call the sky, and at every happy cloud that passed in such strange freedom by, at every happy cloud that passed in such